Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Audra, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, I'm not sure how you got here, but certainly I'm glad you came. And if you are new here, well, you're in for a treat. All right, so first of all, yes, my eyes are hella red. I have a sty in this eye, in the inside of my eye, which I have never had one on the inside of my eye. And this eye is having to work extra hard because this eye keeps trying to close. Did you get all of that? So now they're red and angry, and I'm just... All right, so do I have food in my teeth? We're gonna move on. All I can eat is chicharrones, and that's because that's all there is. There's only chicharrones. I went to the grocery store. It's a mess, people. We have food. All right, so what I'm gonna be here with today is I am going to remove this makeup and get comfortable, and we are going to talk about some more of my dating slash whatever, nightmares, adventures in dating, whatever you want to call it. Most of it's nightmarish. But I thought it would be fun to take your mind off of, you know, her. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to take your mind off of that and hang out and live vicariously through my terrible, terrible dating track record. All right, I will take a shower and I will be back. Different outfit, same do-rag. All right, so I am bathed. By the way, my skincare routine does not just include my face. I also exfoliate my body, and then I use a body oil, and then I use a body butter, because when you get with this, it's gonna be memorable, okay? Okay.
Soft butt cheeks.
Moving on. So, I thought it would be fun. Typically, I would normally be doing a get ready with me. However, with the sty in my eye, we can't really be getting ready now, can we? I mean, technically I could, but do you see that? Technically I could, but I'm not going to because I don't want to ruin any of my palettes with this sty. Although the majority of my styes, approximately 99% of them, are caused by stress. This one I think is actually caused from me using eyeliner in my waterline, and I shouldn't do that. My lesson is finally learned. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get ready. Everything, or get unready, I guess, and everything that I'm using will be listed in the description below. Please keep in mind that I have combination skin. What works on my skin may not work on your skin. I also have several different nighttime skincare routines as well as daytime skincare routines, depending on what the fuck my skin is doing. Disclaimers done. So, this one takes place in Los Angeles. And I think it was in my one-act play class. Like, we had to write a one-act play. Anyway, there was a guy named Brett. He was hot. Like, hot stuff. And I loved me some Brett. I was like, I want to go out with him. And so one night, one day I finally got the courage to slip him the digits, and I did it. I slipped in the digits, and I was like, I did it. So I get a call asking me out for a date from Brett, and I am ecstatic. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna make out. It's gonna be awesome. At this point, I was still a virgin, so I was, considering him to be,
potential.
All right, so the day of the date approaches, and I am getting ready, which means I am wearing way too tight of jean. Like, it's pretty much going to be uncomfortable. It was around 2000, so I'm pretty sure I was wearing a tube top. Yes, a tube top. And probably some chunky ass heels. I was going for like...
Deflower me.
So, at the time I lived in a house with my friends. I don't think we were friends at this point though. But at the time I lived in a house with my ex-friends. And I lived on the second floor of our house. At USC, they only guaranteed freshman housing at the time. I don't think that that's changed. Someone correct me if you know, but they only guaranteed freshman housing. After that, you were on your own. You had to live in the ghetto. So we were in the ghetto, and I'm on the second floor, and I hear him come in. Oh shit. It's the fucking storm horn. Pause. It's tornado season in Texas. Give me a second. Well, if a tornado does come, hopefully it takes me to an alternate universe where I'm quite comfortable. Not super rich, just very, very comfortable. All right. So anyhow, I think he calls me. I can't exactly remember, but he's like, I'm here. And I'm like, oh, just come on in. And I'm feeling like, all right.
Virginity's over, girl.
All right. So what happens is he comes in. And I'm upstairs, and from the upstairs, you can actually look down and see the downstairs area. They don't always necessarily see you, but you can see them, which actually worked out quite well. Because when I looked over the balcony,
it was a different Brett.
All right, listen. It was California. The name Brett then was like the name Braden is now. I don't know what to tell you. It happened. What do you want from me? I am now about to go on a date with the wrong Brett. And I had a couple options. Like, I really could have chosen option one. Option one would have been be a giant meanie and go,
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else.
and make him leave, or go out on a date. And so I went out on this date. This other Brett was vastly different from Brett number one. Brett number two was more of a hood guy, which I did not mind, actually. I had a varying taste and still continue to this day. He was more hood, a little more rough around the edges, but very, very sweet. However, I wasn't into him. And at that time in my life, again, I wasn't so good at just being like, I don't want to give you my phone number. And so I gave him my phone number. He used to kind of walk me home. Ooh, I need to shave my mustache. It's getting rough. He used to kind of walk me home. And that was nice, you know, like not all the way home because I didn't want him to know where I lived at the time. And so he used to walk me home, and it was really nice. And we would chat. I don't know if we even had a class together, if he just thought I was attractive and started talking to me. I seriously don't know, and I never really paid that much attention to the whole ordeal. Anyway, he has arrived. I kind of back away from the balcony like, oh shit, this is the wrong dude. And so I just decided to go on the date. And he, puts me in his car. I don't know what kind of car it was because I'm not a car person. Also, I don't judge a guy or a girl or anybody that I'm dating based on the vehicle they're driving, because people could have a lot more in life just because Bo just locked himself in the bedroom. People could have a lot more in life if they didn't have an expensive ass car. So like, where are your priorities? Anyway, so we go out and he's taking me bowling, but not just any bowling. He is taking me to like what is now commonplace, but then it was not. But like, it was one of those fancy ass bowling alleys, bowling lanes. What do you call them? Where they played music videos and there was like electric lights. It was pretty intense. I'm also a terrible bowler. He was really nice about it, and it was fun. And we're going on like this double date now. Sorry. We're going on this double date apparently. Like, we meet his friend and his like wife/girlfriend, I don't know, whatever. And then that made me feel worse because I was like, ooh, I don't know if he wanted me to like marry him. But I wasn't ready for all that anyway. But he was so fucking sweet. He was actually very handsome, and I had considered, maybe changing my mind on the whole situation, but I just wasn't into him, so at least that I didn't do. But anyway, we had this lovely date. We had so much fun. And, looking back, I was a dumbass because he was a payer. He paid. And when I tell you that it was expensive, it was like $100. It was $100 on a first date. And I was like, and so I'm having fun bowling. We're having a good time. He doesn't really make like a move on me, which I really did actually enjoy because back then I was having a little bit of problems with that, as you may have noticed from my previous dating nightmares. And so he didn't make a move, and he just said like, thank you for a good night. And I was like, thank you, and it was lovely. And then the next day, there's like a dozen roses delivered to me. Oh my God, this wasn't a nightmare date. This was amazing, and I am an idiot. Moving on, he sent me a dozen roses, but because I wasn't really into him, I didn't know what to do, and I think I ghosted him before ghosting was a term.
I'm a dick.
We're gonna move on to another story. I guess the moral of the story is hindsight is 20/20, and other Brett was a better Brett. Because other Brett never called. Never. All right, while we wait for this to dry so that I can rinse it and do other things. This date is actually a nightmare. So this is when I was using dating apps, and I believe I met this fellow on, does it matter? It wasn't Tinder. Ooh, it was Match. It was Match.com, because I, at that time, was being a fancy bitch. So anyway, I was on Match.com, met this guy, and we decide to meet up for a date. We get there. Well, I get there. He's, all right looking. Then we start talking. He starts going into the love languages and talking about that, which, not my bag, to be honest. I'm not shitting on anyone who enjoys that and likes it. It's not my thing. I do understand that they exist, that there are love languages, and I'm sure I have mine. Mine is usually action, I believe. Mine is typically actions. I don't know if that's even a love language, but I like it when people show me and do things that make me feel like they love me. Otherwise, I feel like I'm invisible. So I meet him at this bar that has like a gazillion beers, and I'm like, all right, cool. And I think I had Framboise Lembec. Anyways, we're gonna move on. But he starts talking to me about the love languages, and I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know if I'm interested. But I just continue on with this, and as we do these days, and at my age, we really do kind of start talking about the relations, what you do and don't like, kind of so that should relations happen. Don't do these things, please. And I thought it was going pretty well. However, he had driven very far to meet me, and I, at that time, was working nights at, an undisclosed warehouse. I was working nights at a warehouse, and I was like awake. I'm awake. I wasn't, because at the time I was getting off work at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was not unusual. So I would be up until like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's like 11-ish, I guess, when we're ending our date. And I'm just kind of like, woo, I want to party. And he looked obviously tired. So it was like, it's cool if we end this, we can, hang out again. I was still tepid on what I felt about him. I should have gone with my initial feeling. So anyhow, he's walking me to my car, and he wants a kiss. And, now it's not like I don't want to kiss you. Now it's more like let's see if there's chemistry. Like, a lot of times I'll kiss on a first date just to see if there's chemistry because, maybe I don't want to date you. So I go in for the kiss, but here's the thing. I smoke. Smoke. It's my last vice. I'm working on it. Just don't come at me for that, please. I don't need any things in the comment about quitting because I'm not in the mood right now. And as soon as I'm ready to do it, I will do it. And I don't announce it when I'm going to do it. I just do it, and then I'm not smoking. And then I just tell everybody I haven't smoked in 6 months. All right, so that's what's going to happen with that. So I smoke, and I am very, very conscious of the fact that I smoke. In fact, I'm so conscious of it because I actually hate the smell of cigarette smoke, which is weird, but it's true. I hate the smell. I don't like to smell like it. I'm very crazy about brushing my teeth, all of this kind of stuff. All of that to tell you, I didn't want to kiss him because he did not smoke. And I didn't have any gum or anything to kind of wacha that. So since I couldn't wacha, I was like, no. So I did a closed-lipped kiss so that he wouldn't have to be all up in my ash mouth. And then he was like, no, kiss me. And I was like, okay. So I opened my mouth a little bit, which was hesitant. He was not a great kisser. I regret opening my mouth for that. That was I don't know how many times a guy has to lick your gums, but once is too many times. Anyhow, I'm like, okay, well, no chemistry, poor kissing. I'm done with this. Like, maybe we'll go on one more date and I'll see if maybe, like, because sometimes it's first date jitters, whatever. But I'm still up and he's like, text me when you get home. And I'm like, all right. So I think everything's gone well. I am on my way home. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop at this bar right by my house because
I'm still wide the fuck awake!
So I do. And I text him and I'm like, hey, because I don't lie. I don't lie. So I told him, I am not home, but I'm close. I stopped at this bar close to my house. And I had saved these at one point, but I deleted them out of my phone because the insanity. And I actually never thought I would tell the story to 1,000 people. So here we go. He then sends me a text going,
You just couldn't end the night with me, could you?
To which I was like, what did you say? And I was like, no, I work nights and I try to be nice. Like, I was confused and I was just like, I work nights. You seem pretty tired. I was just trying to be like cognizant of your needs. I was literally, honestly, not just, I really was like, hey, this guy looks tired. He kept trying to kind of fall asleep a couple of times. And I'm like, I don't want to keep him up. I will be awake for hours. That was the thing. I knew I was going to be awake for hours. And I was like, he's already tired. He already drove like 45 minutes to meet me for this date. And I'm not, planning on tonight because I'm not in the mood. So, ooh, it's almost time. So I'm like messaging him back, letting him know what's happened here, that there's been a miscommunication. I just thought that maybe he was tired and I didn't want to make him come along with me. Apparently he read my love language. And he then starts in on this insane tirade. And it ends in, this I can quote because I'm never going to forget it. He said, you should just get on one of those fuck sites because since I didn't try to get in your panties, which is obviously what a girl like you wanted, you should get off of a serious dating site like Match. End quote. I blocked him, but not before he blocked me after his insanity, because crazy people have to do it first. Okay. All right, now I wonder if we have time for a couple of more. It seems like we do. Now, I promise you, I wish that these stories weren't true. I truly wish these stories weren't true, because, wow, it's just revealing how bad I am and have consistently been at choosing anyone for me. Anyone. My own self. I'm just in these streets, fucking myself up, fucking myself over. It's very upsetting. So now we're gonna go back to Los Angeles. I don't know how old I was. I had to be like 21. Yeah, I had to be 21 because I feel like I was 21. Am I shaving my mustache? Yes, I can't find my wax strips. Get over it. I had to be like 21 years old, and I was going out with a guy, ironically, named
Frank.
It doesn't really matter if I say his real name because I'm pretty sure he would never remember me at this point. It's been 20 years. Let's let it go. All right, so anyway, I'm hanging out with a guy named Frank. I think I met him at like a party. I've had an adventurous life. There was a point in time where I worked for, not in a strip club. There's a difference. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just telling you. Because if I had worked in a strip club, I would probably still be working in a strip club now, making some good ass money. Moving on. I worked for a strip club. I used to like hand out those little titty cards. You know when you go places and they're like, here, get a free lap dance. Or you go and like to a sporting event and you find a free lap dance card on your car. That was me. Anywho, you know, being able to see up your nostrils like that is very upsetting. Anyhow, I go to a party on the beach at my old boss and his brother. And his brother was a chiropractor. That's neither here nor there. I don't know what made me feel like I should get freaky with Frank, but it happened. There was a lot of hardcore making out at the time. And it was whatever. And then I cannot remember if I went over to his place at some later date. You know what? I think I went to his place. I really don't remember. It was a long time ago. I'm just going to tell you what I remember. Listen. I was having some serious escapades at the time. Just leave me alone. So, in my escapades that I was having, I proceeded to hook up with Frank. Now, fun fact, prior to Frank, I had never seen such a thing, so I assumed it was broken. I'm going to try to find a delicate way to put this, and I think the most delicate way to put this is that his carrot still had the ends. It was an unshaved carrot. I had never seen an unshaved carrot with the tip still attached like that. I thought it was broken. Legitimately. I'm an American. What do you want from me? Nobody told me that those existed. Carrots just be out there. You know, nobody said, nobody ever told me one time, hey, guess what? There's carrots out there, still with the end on.
Not peeled.
He had an unpeeled carrot. It wasn't peeled. And so I thought his carrot was obviously defective. I said nothing because I'm so ashamed. I said nothing because I didn't want to embarrass him about his broken carrot. Listen. Listen to me. Like, this isn't fair. Quick massage break. Amazing grace. Oh, that's so sad. How could I do that? They should really tell women that, like, they exist with the sheath. And we're not, like, surprised over here, like. Did that happen to you in the war? Jesus. So here I am, not wanting to talk about it, and we, had an actual freaky time. And then I was out at the beach, I guess, with him and his friends or whatever. And then they made mention of his unpeeled carrot, and they were like, ha, did you get to see Frank's unpeeled carrot? To which I replied,
Is that what it is?
I thought it was broken, and they all laughed. And if you don't know what I mean by unpeeled carrot, I'm referring to it being uncircumcised. So, lesson here is we should definitely teach women about the unpeeled carrot. If you should have a daughter, teach her about the unpeeled carrot so that she's not confused or concerned. I legitimately thought that there was something wrong and he didn't want to talk about it, so I didn't ask. And that's on circumcision. All right, so I'm going to finish the night out with my final, not final ever, but my final dating story from Los Angeles for tonight while I let this do what it's doing. Y'all, I mean, all right, moving on. So this is my freshman year in college, and I was dating a goth guy. I don't remember his name, so we're going to call him Goth Gary. I'm dating Goth Gary. And I had to do all the first moves to get Goth Gary to like go out with me. It was awkward to say the least. I spent a lot of time in my dating life being the one being like, "Row," trying to, "Row." I don't know why I was always dating shy guys, but that's changed. Anyway, I was dating Goth Gary, but like we were dating for like, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe, and like he never made a move. So I felt like I had to do something because we were always with everybody, and then I was like, ugh, ugh. So anyhow, I go and I think I invite him over to my apartment because at USC they have apartments and dorms, and the apartments are on campus, but like 4 of you live there. If you want to know how petty I am, we'll talk about my petty tourist bullshit at a later date. But I had other roommates, and they were not there, so we were in the living room. I don't know what we were watching, and so I started kind of putting the moves on him. Still a virgin. And I started putting the moves on him. I'm like, yeah, Goth Gary, it's time. I'm like, Goth Gary, how come we've never kissed? And Goth Gary's like, I don't know. And I'm like, Goth Gary, we're alone. Yes. And Goth Gary's like, we are. And I'm like, this is not going the way I envisioned it. Anyhow, I then began to slowly slide over to Goth Gary, and we start trying to kiss. Emphasis on the trying. Now, before I really get into this, I need you to look at something. I'm gonna get him close. Look at it. I'm gonna be like that. Okay. That's relevant to the story. Anyhow, I'm in these streets being like, I'm gonna kiss Goth Gary. Things are gonna get sexy. And I move in for this kiss. You guys, another life lesson learned. 2 people with big teeth can't make out. It was the clash of the titans, y'all. Our teeth smacked together like 2 angry goats fighting for their mate. There wasn't even room to try tongue. And that is the end of my dating nightmare. I did not continue dating Gary after that. We just mutually broke up. Like, we just knew after our teeth smashed together repeatedly that we weren't right for each other. We're just not into each other. Our teeth are too big. And had we had children, my God, the teeth on those kids. All right, guys, I'm moisturized. The creepy horn keeps going off, letting me know some kind of storm is coming through here again. I think they're prepping me. My eye is starting to go to sleep. I'm awake, and I need more wine in my glass. So with that, I'm going to bid you adieu, or arg. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing if you have not already so that you can tune in for more terrible stories about my life, horror, mostly horror and dating. Yeah, my dating life is a nightmare. And if you would, please like this video so that way I know you enjoy it, or shit, if you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. At least I know. Until next time, guys, I love each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day. I hope that this was able to get your mind off of all the craziness of the world. And until next time, deuces! Oh, shit. And decided that it was... Hold on. plenty.
Get back on birth control.
Let's try more drops. See like if one eye can be just like slightly less red. So